Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Fit to Fat to Fit Experience podcast. I'm your host, Drew Manning.
And I'm your co-host, Lynn Manning.
Thank you guys for joining us. Today, we have an awesome episode with the amazing Cassey Ho from blogalates.com.
I love her.
We all love her. She's amazing. This is such an awesome episode. We kind of talk about her body shaming video that went viral on YouTube. We talk to her about how she became like Blogalates and her brand, and also a bit of background on her entrepreneurial career and how she's become so successful. We even talk about her boyfriend, which this is the first time ever she's ever revealed to anybody who her boyfriend is and what he does, and she said she's never talked about him publicly before.
We've met him a couple times. He's so nice.
He's an awesome guy. And of course, we talk about health and fitness. On this podcast, we talk about health and fitness from a very unique perspective. Me having done my Fit to Fat to Fit journey, and Lynn being a women's fitness specialist and also a, what's that word? Starts with an F. Foodie.
F word? Jeez,
F-word.
Drew, not on podcasts.
Yeah. But that's what we feel makes us so unique, is we bring a unique combination of me and my Fit to Fat to Fit experience, and Lynn's, not your typical women's fitness specialist. But anyways, we want to get into today's sponsorship, which is questnutrition.com. We love those guys over at Quest. Everybody knows who Quest is and the Quest bars, because they taste like dessert.
They're so delicious.
They really do. They taste delicious. You have flavors like s'mores and chocolate chip cookie dough and mint chocolate and almost anything you can think of. Apple cinnamon, berries, peanut butter and jelly, coconut cashew. The list goes on and on. Anyways, we're a huge fan of their bars.
I always recommend my clients keep something like that.
Yes.
Like a Quest bar in their purse, in their car, at the office. I know for me, running around with kids, errands, work, things like that, the biggest way to fall into a trap and become unhealthy is to not have healthy food on hand. So the great thing about Quest bars, because they're fine sitting in a car, they're fine sitting in your purse, they're not going to go bad. It's a great snack to have on hand no matter where you're going, healthy and delicious.
Exactly, and that's the best thing, is they are a convenient way to get in some good, nutritious food, and you can take it on the plane when you travel, in your pocket, in your purse, in your car, and it definitely helps you as far as convenience goes, and it tastes amazing. So check them out, questnutrition.com, and let's go hang out with Cassey, you guys. Welcome, Cassey, to the show. We're so grateful to have you on to the Fit to Fat to Fit experience. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm jealous of you guys in Hawaii right now.
Don't be jealous. It's hot. It's humid.
It's so ugly here.
I love that.
I hate it.
Yeah. Hey, you're in LA, so it's not too bad either.
It's not that bad, but we don't have big turtles. So.
That's true. It is beautiful out here, but we're so grateful you're able to join us on the podcast. For those of you who don't know who Cassey is, so I'm just going to kind of introduce, I'm sure everyone knows who you are, Cassey.
Everybody knows Cassey.
But there's probably 0.1% of people out there that don't have don't watch, YouTube. So Cassey is a social media fitness entrepreneur with a YouTube channel. And correct me if I'm wrong, Cassey, but you have over 2.5 million subscribers. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That is awesome.
Dang.
Congratulations.
Woo,
that's pretty much
That's it. It's a wrap.
That's pretty much all I need to say about Cassey, because that says so much about you. The fact that you have 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube. You're an author, you're a Pilates instructor. What aren't you, Cassey?
What am I not?
Yeah, what are you not?
I am not a slacker.
That's for sure.
I'm not a sleeper. I need to work on that.
Yeah. So you have a couple brands. You own, your YouTube channel called Blogalates. You also have Oh Gorgeous. Can you tell us about what Oh Gorgeous is?
Yeah, Oh Gorgeous Inc. is our e-commerce clothing line of fitness accessories and gym bags, and yoga bags, and all sorts of stuff, and yoga mats. And that is alone its own business. So obviously I have, the campaign deals and everything I do with social media as a part of my brand as Cassey Ho in person. But then there's the whole merchandising aspect, which is really awesome because I get to design and do graphics and all that kind of stuff. We do the modeling, the shooting, and everything for that whole business. And that alone is its own beast.
Exactly. And you actually have some past experience before all this. You have some past experience as a designer. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, I learned all my design skills basically from trial and error and Google.
Uh-huh.
And I did not go to design school, but I always had a passion for it. And I did a small internship one summer where I learned, Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. That was only like a couple months.
Okay.
But from that, everything else I needed to learn as far as as using programs or how to do fits or grading or how to do sketches. Like that was all learned on my own and asking people.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you are actually just recently voted as one of the top 100 fitness influencers in the world. Is that right?
Yeah, now top 25.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
I'm sorry. Top 25.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Man, do you feel like that's a lot of pressure? Top 25 in the world fitness influencers. Do you feel like that kind of builds a lot of pressure on you?
Not really. I feel like it's just a title, so it is what it is. As long as I keep doing what I do and I do it to the best of my potential, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Yeah, that is so cool. So I kind of want to start off the show, Cassey, talking a little bit about our experience, how we first met each other, and how we've come to know you. Because I was blown away. First of all, let me kind of give you guys a backstory of when I first met Cassey. Quest Nutrition, who's one of the sponsors of the podcast, flew me out to their headquarters in LA to do kind of a YouTube series where Cassey was the host. What was it called again?
It was called Cooking Clean with Quest.
Cooking Clean
yes.
with Quest, yeah. Where Cassey was and I knew who you were, and I was just so amazed at how open and down to earth you were. You were like here talking to me and so nice to me and talking to me the whole time. I was like blown away because, I mean, obviously everyone knows who you are.
I was going to say, I'm a huge fan of you. So when I saw you, I was like, oh my goodness. Because I remember when I first started blogging, you were all over every like morning show and every news like outlet. And I was like, whoa, this guy, I can't believe he like did that to his body and came back looking even better. I was like, what? You like blew my mind. So I just want you to know the feeling was mutual.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. Yeah. And I had such a good time on that show. It was really fun, working with you. I think what we made was a banana cream pie.
Yes, I remember this. Yes.
Lynn remembers.
Yeah, of course.
And you were just so fun and funny and down to earth. And that's what I loved about you. And then we kind of, developed a natural friendship from there, right? It wasn't like, hey, follow me on social media, see you around. It was like, started texting and you got to know Lynn really well. And we met up with you and Sam and got to know you on a very personal level. And we still feel very fortunate where we can text you and you'll text us back, and it's really cool to have that relationship with someone like you.
Well, the thing that I love about Cassey is she really cares. Like you meet people in this industry, and a lot of times, at least my experience, unfortunately, a lot of times you meet people and they're unrelatable. They're not down to earth and they haven't experienced life and they don't seem to struggle with the same things I do, especially as a woman, talking about body issues or body positivity or body shaming or different things that we deal with. And sometimes there's just that disconnect with trainers and with females in the industry, depending on their background. And Cassey's so not like that. You're so down to earth, you're so genuine, you're so loving and caring and body positive. It's refreshing. It's so refreshing to have you in the industry. And to me, because of that, it's no surprise that you are a top influencer, because I think that's what we need more of in the world, especially right now. So
thank you. And I feel like the reason why we connected is because you guys are genuinely really good people. And Drew, when I met you, I remember telling you I was in like this weight loss plateau. I just couldn't like body was just not changing no matter what I ate or what I did. And so for Drew's listeners, like Drew put me on this plan where I wasn't eating any grains, dairy or added sugars for 30 days. He also had this like really simple fitness routine. It was like 30 minutes long, like toss weight 30, 40 minutes. And like I actually like lost weight. And to me, it was so crazy. It was probably only like 5 pounds, but it was so crazy because I hadn't lost weight in a really, 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 really long time. And it sucks when you work your butt off and nothing happens. And so when Drew and Lynn came out to visit in LA, it was so funny because we were at this, this cafe, and I just started bawling, and they were like, what is your problem?
No,
I did not. No.
No.
And I was like, thank you, Drew. And then you saved me. Like you changed my life. And like I literally could not stop crying for like 15 minutes. It was so weird.
Oh, it was not weird.
It was not weird to us.
No.
Like I felt so honored that you would be, that open to opening up to us, and I'm like, wow, like she's showing her emotions. She's not afraid of being vulnerable. Even though we hadn't known each other for years, I thought that was really cool of you to be open and vulnerable, because I think there's strength in that.
Oh,
And
yeah. No,
that's
I
when
did
we
not
felt
think it was
connected.
weird at all. I was like, oh my gosh, like a woman who is honest and genuine and authentic and vulnerable. And then like, honestly, I just loved you. I was like, yes, like this is the type of person I would want in my life. Like, you know, none of the fake crap there, you know, there's enough of that.
No, we don't like fake stuff. Fake
Yeah.
stuff's not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that experience, Cass. That was really cool of you. Just for all the listeners out there, you know, we did have a really cool backstory to all this. So the first question I want to ask you, Cassey, is who were you before Blogilates? Like, I think a lot of people want to know, like, the type of person you were, like your habits and hobbies back then before you became this Blogilates, you know, superstar.
Yeah, so back in school, I was always the girl who always raised my hand, and maybe some people thought it was annoying. I worked really hard to make sure I got my straight A's. I was in all honors and AP classes. I was like, you know, one of those kids. But I also was captain of the tennis team on varsity for 4 years, and just like all of that, you know, that whole well-rounded thing, like all about that. But life was really stressful and tough, and I feel like I didn't really have a group of like really core friends. Like growing up, I had some, but not like what I have surrounded around me today. But in middle school and high school, I actually started a cookies and candies business, which is really funny, and I'll tell you about it, because I candy chocolate. Because I'm a super taster. There's a very small percentage of the nation or the world actually that's a super taster. So what that means is that I can taste the bitterness in chocolate, whether it's milk chocolate or whatever, and I can't eat chocolate because it tastes like medicine.
Wow.
Okay, so what I would do, though, is I loved Halloween. I would still go trick-or-treating. So I'd end up with these bags full of chocolate, and I wouldn't know what to do. So what I did was I ended up melting them down, adding caramel and milk or whatever, and turning them into like these little tiny balls. And then I would make them for my sister and make them for my friends. And I started noticing that the friends at school like really liked them, and they wanted more. So I was like, well, if you try it and you like it, then maybe you'll buy it. And I started charging them for it.
Wow.
Started buying it, and I was like, okay, that's cool. So then I started adding a variety of things. So then we had our top seller, which was this buttercream cookie sandwich, and it was like 2 like luscious chocolate chip cookies with buttercream filling inside, and people called them Cassey's crack cookies because they had to have one every single day. And happening was when I got into high school, I had 5 employees working with me selling crack cookies all over the campus, and it actually had a name called Complex Cookies.
Okay.
And eventually that story won me a full ride scholarship into college, where I studied biology because my parents wanted me to be a doctor. Obviously, you can see that I'm very entrepreneurial, like naturally, very creative, that sort of thing. And when I decided not to pursue medicine, my parents were like, what? I told them I wanted to do fashion and design and be creative. And my dad looked me in the eye and told me, you will not be successful, you will not make money, and worst of all, you're not going to have any friends. And literally, like, right?
Yeah.
So then I started crying, and I thought my dreams were crushed. But eventually what happened was the last class I needed to take the MCAT was organic chemistry. So I'm not really a rebellious person. Maybe now a little bit more, but not so much. So I felt like the only way I could get out of this scenario was to sabotage myself. And so I dropped out of organic chemistry, so I couldn't take the MCAT. And when I did that, my dad and mom flipped out, and I ended up still graduating with the honors in bio, but I moved to the East Coast to pursue my dreams of, you know, fashion and things like that. I got to fashion merchandising. But for a good few years, my parents and I, we weren't talking, and we lost that relationship because they really thought I had to dishonor the family and all of that kind of stuff, and I would be poor and like all that kind of stuff and have no friends and terrible things. But the person that I was before I am now is very much the same person. It's just that I have different opportunities. So always been very driven and willing to give up everything to follow my dreams.
Yeah. And I actually kind of want to ask you about that, like how much your culture played a factor into, you know, like your parents wanting you to go down a certain road. Because I feel like, you know, for me, you know, my parents are kind of old fashioned, older generation, kind of think the same way, like, hey, do this. This is the route you should go. This is the best way to do it. how long did it take your parents to finally come over and realize, wow, like my daughter is amazing and she's successful and like now we can support her versus like kind of being disappointed or in you?
Probably only in the last few years, actually.
Really?
It kind of, yeah, because I had to do everything that I did to prove to them that you could be happy and successful doing what you love instead of doing traditional things, which is really funny because a lot of times parents think that you have to be a doctor or a lawyer because it's secure, it's safe, it's financially stable. But the thing is, and the truth is, you can get laid off and fired at any time based on someone else's decision. So you actually don't have as much stability as you think you do. Whereas now I can fail or win based on how hard I work. You know what I mean? I just feel like they don't get
that. I agree 100%.
Yeah, and I also feel like when you're doing something you're really passionate about, you can be successful in any field. It really matters. Like if you're putting your heart into things and you are passionate about that, I've seen people have the craziest careers that I didn't even know existed. And it's because they took their passion and they're like, this is what I want to do. And they've made it happen and they're driven. And like you said, you're a hardworking, driven person that has ambition and focus for this specific cause and industry. And because of that, it's easy to be successful or easier to be successful in that field. So.
Yeah. And I think part of that comes from the culture, right? Like, you know, you're of Asian descent and, you know, it's part of the culture. And my dad it has Chinese blood as well. And I think maybe that's just part of the culture as well. Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah.
Wait, what's your heritage?
So my dad is part Chinese, Portuguese, Hawaiian. My mom's, you know, Caucasian and white. Yeah. My last name would have been Lum Lung. Had my great-great-grandmother not remarried an Englishman after her husband died with the last name Manning. You would have been talking to Drew Lum Lung. This would be Lynn Lum Lung over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you can't tell by looking at me, but yeah, I do have some Chinese blood.
I love that. She's like, yeah, I can't tell at all. No.
Yeah, if she didn't remarry an Englishman with the last name Manning, I would have carried on the Lum Lung name. So really weird. But anyways, yeah, I think a lot of it is in that culture, right? A lot of it's in the culture and passed on. But it's really cool to see them, you know, come around and support you. And I think I remember you telling me, didn't they kind of start helping you with your business at some point? Like, you know, supporting you?
At some point, you know, your parents always want to help out and see what you need. And so originally we ran the merchandising business out of their garage. But now we have a warehouse up in Northern California and a creative office down in LA. But you need to come and visit.
I know, we do.
I know.
Yeah, so we've grown, and I'm glad, you know, the parents were happy and willing to help because that relationship is important. You know, it's nice to have your parents in your life, but also at the same time, when we weren't talking for those few years, it was also really refreshing because it gave me a chance to find myself and follow my passion without anyone else telling me what to do or how to do it or what's good for me. So
yeah, I love that. And Cassey, like one of my favorite things that I want to talk to you and ask you about is one of my favorite things about you is your emphasis on body love, okay? And one of the big things that you did recently that got spread around everywhere. What I love too is people kept sending it to me like, hey, I don't know if you know this girl Cassey, but she put out this video and it totally made me think of you and you'll love her. And I just had to laugh because I'm like, oh, I know her and I've seen this a dozen times. But I watched it dozens of times because it really hit me. And there was that post that you did about, you know, body image and about body shaming and about, you know, Photoshop and all of that. I wanted to get your take a little bit on why this is such an important and critical topic to you and why you made that video.
Yeah, so the reason why I made that video was because, well, for myself, I get a lot of criticism on my body because I am a fitness instructor. And if you don't look the perfect way or a certain way, then you can get criticized for it. If your boobs aren't big enough, if your butt is too flat, if your waist isn't skinny enough, like literally everything can be torn apart. And social media has just gotten a little bit crazy. It always has been, but it's been getting worse. And so all those comments started to truly bother me. And I've been on YouTube for, I don't know, 5-6 years now, and I've grown a thicker skin. But just during that time, I think it was around March or April, there were more comments saying things that hurt me as a businesswoman and in my career. So there was like a comment that said, oh, if you really cared about career, you would lose some weight. Like that gets under my skin. Like if you just said you look fat, like, okay, I haven't heard that one before, you know? But like to attack my business skills and stuff like that, like based on my body, that one really enraged me. And so I was having a really tough week in business. There's lots of stuff going on, lots of shoots and video shoots. And in this time of stress, I had this epiphany. And this epiphany was like, Cassey, you need to create a video of you taking out these comments that are hurting you and sculpting yourself to what people want you to look like. And immediately when I thought of that, I knew this was going to be a big video for my community. I didn't know it was going to be big for everyone else. So I called up my friend James Chen, who's a director, and he's working at Smashbox Studios at the time. I told him this concept, and he was like, oh my goodness, we need to do it right away. So literally from the time of idea conception to the time we filmed it was 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
We filmed it in a day, and then probably 2 weeks after that, the video was out. So it was like super fast. And they spent hundreds of hours photoshopping every single frame so that you could see me morphing my boobs so that they were really big, and morph my butt so it looked like Kim Kardashian, but all these sorts of things. And I'm so grateful that they were so on board with the idea, because I couldn't have done it without them. Like, I don't know how to do that kind of stuff. Like, I know how to edit videos, food, lifestyle, fitness, but on that level, I had no clue. And so I'm really grateful for Smashbox for them to really support that idea. And when the video came out, what I did to promote the video was almost as successful as the video. So the video now has about 7 million views on YouTube. But in order for me to let my Instagram fans know about the YouTube video, what I did was I took a selfie of myself in a mirror wearing sports bra and booty shorts, which I always, I usually do that. Except this time I went into Photoshop and I literally brought my waist in a natural amount, brought my butt out, brought my boobs out, and it looked kind of awkward. So this is really interesting, because when I posted it, I put go to youtube.com/bloglines to see how I got this body. So I didn't say whether I had photoshopped it or if I had worked for it, just super ambiguous. And the first 6 comments literally scared me, because they said, oh my goodness, you look so good. How did you lose weight? You look amazing. And I was like, should I have photoshopped more? And then after those first 6 comments, people were saying, still too fat, still ugly, not good enough, go lose more weight. And literally you could see the problem with society all in that comment thread. And it's funny, it's funny and not funny, because the reason why people think this way is because we don't even know what's real and what's not anymore. People on Instagram, they Photoshop their own Instagram photos, which is supposed to be, real. But now Instagram is so portfolio, it's only your best. So I feel like you only get a sense of people on their Snapchat or Periscope or something like that. But so anyway, that picture was shared on almost every news outlet. The same with the video. I was on Good Morning America and I got to talk about that. And the reason why I think that this is important is because people just have to know that no matter what you look like, you can't judge a book by its cover, because it has nothing to do with who I am inside. It doesn't make me a better or worse fitness instructor, and how dare you say that I shouldn't be doing what I do because of the way I look. It's just really stupid. And I'm really glad that video went beyond just my community as a statement and became a worldwide statement, which I didn't expect, but I think a lot of people needed to hear that, so that's why it was shared.
Yeah, for me, I love that went viral. That's the first time I saw it. I saw it right away because I follow you on Instagram, of course.
Yeah.
And I saw that photo of you, and then I actually went and started reading some of the comments to see what people were saying. And I, too, get this glimpse of how unhealthy these comments are, ranging from, you look so amazing, I wish I could be that skinny, when clearly the photo was, if that were a real photo, would have been very unhealthy, to still body shaming. And I'm reading these comments and I'm blown away. I'm floored. But just like you, I've gotten comments as well. I don't have a 6-pack, and I eat pizza or I'll have chocolate. And a lot of times it hurts being in this industry, because people can come out because they're behind their computers and they don't know you. And we see this far too often nowadays. And, I feel like this generation of girls, in middle school and high school, this is where all of these, sad body images are coming from, because of social media, people sitting behind a computer and sitting there and feeling like they can say whatever they want and just judge people and put people down and be like, your body isn't good enough or you're not good enough. And so your message to me was one of the best YouTube videos I had seen all year. I was like, you know what? It rang so true to me. If you haven't seen it, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
We'll put it in the show notes, but it's such a good video. And it just reminds us several things, like you said. One is how our body reflects does not show who we are. You know, whether you're skinnier or a little bit overweight, or whether you have a pear shape or you're thin or you have big boobs or small boobs or a big butt or a small butt, you know, none of that shows who you are. And it also doesn't show if you're healthy or not. Everybody's body is different. And what I love about your message is embracing being healthy and loving your body. And that's really all that we can do to improve our health and our mental and emotional well-being.
No, I think it was, I'm kind of curious, Cassey, do you feel like most of the negative comments come from female followers, or is it 50-50 men and women?
Mostly female.
Yeah.
Because most of my audience is female. I don't think, definitely my audience wasn't the one making those comments. Maybe it was sometimes like 0.01%, but sometimes it's just haters from somewhere else coming in to say stuff because they feel like they need to. But just like Lynn said, they're behind a computer screen. They feel like they can say all this. Then you click on their profile and it's like private and there's like 0 followers. It's like, are you even a real person? Because would you ever come up to me and say this to my face? Because I don't think so. No one's ever come up to me to say it to my face. So it's like invalid to me. And you know what I do with the crazy hater comments, because I understand there's two kinds of negative comments. There's the kind of comments that are constructive criticism, which I will read and see and look at myself and see what I can change to be better, because I always am accepting the feedback. Then there's comments that just add like poison to your community, and those people do not belong there because they start infecting your real fans. The real fans start thinking, oh, is there something wrong? Like, oh, maybe this isn't good, and they start like getting brainwashed a little bit. So I make sure that those people are deleted, their comments are deleted, their profile is blocked, because if you're not adding positivity into this world and my community, you don't belong here. You know what I mean? And the same thing in real life. I don't hang out with people that make me feel bad. I don't hang out with people that say nasty things to me. So same thing online.
Yeah. Well, the reason I ask is because I feel like for men, I don't receive those types of comments as much as, say, women do. Like, I don't think they're as prevalent online and in the social media world, whereas I think it's mostly women. Well, unfortunately,
I feel like maybe that part of that is just this sad, vicious cycle where they grew up, you know, being belittled or berated for their body or their image or just bullying, and then they kind of turn to hate and jealousy and envy, and then they start to make those comments to other people, and it's not that it's right, regardless of the reason why they're doing it. But a lot of times what's helped me when I get negative comments now, and like Cassey said, sometimes I do delete it depending on what it is, and I really don't want that in my community. But most of the time what I try to do is sit back and reflect and realize they must be hurting so much in order to say these hateful things, you know, and it's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah.
But one of my other questions kind of going along with this, because I'm a women's fitness specialist, and I can tell with your community, even though you don't specifically only work with women, you have obviously a large target of women that follow you. If you could pick out, you know, one, or if you can't narrow it down to one, I understand, two major tips that you would give, like your most important tips to give to a female client that's starting her health and wellness journey, what would it be?
So my, in general, overall tip is to find the joy in working out. And I know that's really vague, so I'm going to go into this, because I don't want people to feel like their workout is a chore and they're not looking forward to it and they hate it, because what's going to happen is that it's not going to become a lifestyle. So you need to experiment and try all types of workouts until you find the one that you wake up like dying to do. And I know, like, a few years ago when I was weightlifting, like when I woke up, I was like, God, I can't wait to go to the gym and weightlift again and like get super sore. And now I'm like back into dancing, and I love dancing for cardio because it's so fun. It really relaxes me and makes me feel really good. And that is going to change every year or two. I don't know about you guys, but I have to like keep doing something different. So I feel like if people can just experiment a little bit and find the workout that they truly love, then everything's going to fall into place. Not only will your stress levels go down, but also your body will start changing the way you want it to.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect, because that kind of goes in line with what I preach is making it a lifestyle change instead of a 60-day diet, right? Where you kind of hate going to the gym, you hate eating the food, and you're like, oh, only 10 more days of this, you know? But that's the problem with so many people. They have this diet mentality where they don't have a passion for it. They don't know how to make it a lifestyle change. And yeah, different things work for different people. For me, I'm not a big Zumba guy, like I think it's cool, but I like more of the CrossFit world, or, but for me that works, but since we've come here to Hawaii, honestly, I love body surfing, and it's a great workout. Yeah, I do that every morning at 5:30. I'll go to the beach and do some body surfing. And so for me, I look forward to it every day. And it's something that's active, that's fun, and I just have a connection to the beach. I love the beach. But
yeah, I completely agree with Cassey, though. I know for me, I've never been the type of person that gets super excited or craves specific workouts. But kind of going along with what you said, I do go through stages where I enjoy something a lot more. So sometimes that might be going for walks. It might be going hiking. It might be I get into a phase where I like to swim more or bike more or take a spin class or do a weightlifting class. And I change what I do for exercise often because of that. Because you're right. If it's not something that's intriguing me at the moment, I'm not going to do it. So it might be, sometimes I go through a lot of at-home workouts and other times I'm outside a lot. So I think that's such a valuable tip to try a bunch of new things. I'll tell people from the get-go, my program is not the only great program out there. Try a ton of different things and come back and go forth and find what your passion is. Because like you said, it's going to help you kind of stay on track and find what works for you. So I love that.
So shifting gears here a little bit, Cassey, I kind of want to ask you this. What's the first 60 to 90 minutes of your day look like? Do you have a normal routine where, Monday through Friday or every single day you have a certain routine you go through on the first 60, 90 minutes of your day?
First 60, 90 minutes of my day. So every day it's a little bit different. Okay. But for example, like this morning, I woke up and I checked Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and my email. And then I brushed my teeth. Then I put my hair up into a bun. I put on a workout top and a bottom, and then I went into my other room and I did a workout at home, because right now I don't have time to go to the gym. Actually, yesterday was Labor Day, and I went to the gym, and Sam and I did a really awesome arm and leg workout, and I'm so
I saw that. Yeah.
I love my leg press. Oh my God, seriously.
Yeah.
When I did the leg press, I was walking down the stairs, and my thighs started spazzing. Have you had that where you
yes.
whole lower body? And I couldn't walk. So today I was like, okay, I'm going to stay home and I'm going to do like a total body workout. So I did this Tabata workout that combines like, burpees and things with my favorite Pilates workouts. So you're really doing total body toning. So I did that. And then I went to set up my iPhone because I was already in my workout clothes, and I filmed a mini Instagram video. So I just set it up on a little phone stand on the side of the room, and then I, frame it up. And then I filmed the Instagram video, and after that I take a shower, do my hair and makeup, and then I head to the office. So that's like a good day. And some days it's just real bad. Stay there until 12 in the morning. But
gotcha.
That's nice.
No, that's totally fine. What's a typical breakfast look like for you? What's your typical breakfast?
Typical breakfast. Sometimes it depends on what my mood is. Sometimes I'm in a savory mood, so I'll just do, omelet with salsa, savory. Or if I'm in a non-savory mood. Oh, also what's really good is an egg on top of steel-cut oats with sriracha all over the top. Have you guys had that?
No, are you serious?
That sounds really good.
It's a thing. I saw on Pinterest the other day, but I did this way back when.
Okay.
Feeling sweet, it might be like a fruit smoothie, or maybe it's like a banana pancakes, which is my paleo pancake. It's 2 eggs and 1 banana. You mix it up, you blend it, put it on the pan, and bam, pancakes. Yeah.
Okay. No, we'll have
I'm
to try.
Now.
Yeah, we'll have to try that egg with
I'm trying. You know what? The thing that's funny is like I love oats, I love eggs, and I freaking love sriracha sauce. I mean that's like I can put that probably on anything. But I have never thought of doing those together. And like initially, I'm not gonna lie, it makes me kind of cringe. Like that sounds gross. So now, challenge accepted. I'm gonna make that for breakfast sometime this week. And I will post it on my Instagram feed, and I will tag you, giving you all the credit for making me try it. So,
you know what? It's a mentality thing. If you just think of the oatmeal as rice, and you're like, oh, eggs and rice, like obviously.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Okay, so another question, because a lot of people don't see what goes on behind the scenes, right? They see your YouTube videos, your Instagram. There's always somebody that's taking the videos or taking the photos. I kind of want to talk about Sam, introduce everybody to Sam, because he's a shy guy. He's quiet. He doesn't like the attention. He doesn't like to be in the photos. He's always like, let me take the photo. I don't want to be in the photo. Can you tell us everything Sam does and who he is, and a little bit about him and his role and your guys' relationship together? Can you guys can you talk about that? Can I introduce him to everybody to let him know that he exists, to let people know he exists?
Absolutely. So I haven't really ever openly, publicly talked about Sam yet, not because I'm hiding him. We just haven't. But the fans are very curious. So I guess this is the first time we'll talk.
Wow, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Wow.
So Sam is my boyfriend, and we've been together for like 7 years now. We met in college. He was my finance tutor. What happened was I got a B- on a finance test, and I was completely devastated. And so I was like, oh, I have to go to the tutor now. And so I went to the tutor, and it was Sam, and he helped me with my homework, and then we got to know each other, and we started going out. So that was 7 years ago in May. And then he began to help me with my gorgeous yoga bags. And then I remember our first sale, and we were like at his house, and this woman from New York like bought one of our bags for like $125. I was like, oh my God, someone actually like believes in this product, and we actually did some kind of branding or something. And he was there for that moment. And now he's actually, in our office. He's sitting across the table from me on his own desk, and he does all the analytical stuff, all my brand negotiations, and he's really like the strategist behind the business. And obviously, amazing photographer and videographer. These are skills that we both learned over the past 6 years. We used to shoot with this neat little digicam, this those like little Canon things, and then and we didn't have microphones, we didn't have lights, we didn't know how to do any of this stuff. And now we're shooting on these like huge DSLRs with amazing lenses. We know how to work with the lights, and it was all a very gradual process and progression that we learned together. And now he knows how to shoot me, knows how to make me look good, and what kind of lights make me look good. That's really important. And it's a good thing he's my boyfriend, because I'll be like, yeah, we need to do that again like 11 more times. And he'd be like, okay.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
That is so cool, and that's the thing is like, and he's a super patient guy, and obviously he has to be able to do the social media, because just working with Lynn and I, we have to have patience with each other. Like, hey, can you do this again? It's like, no, that was good.
Drew, Drew will be like, can you shoot this again from another angle? I'm like, really? Like, again? Right now? Because
I'll admit, I'm a little bit more of the girl in that way.
I do like one shoot, and he'll be like, you had stuff on your face. I'm like, it's fine. People will totally relate to this. It's totally fine.
Yeah. No, but I just want Sam to get some credit, because he does so much, but he doesn't want the recognition. But for everybody that knows, Sam is amazing, and I can only imagine all the stuff that he really does behind the scenes. And it's cool that you finally open up to the public about who Sam is. And are we gonna see pictures of you guys together ever?
Oh my gosh, Drew's like totally harassing you now publicly.
But beyond just like the business aspect of it, Sam really helps me be a better person. And I'm sure you can say the same about you guys together. Like when you find a partner who not only, is there to support you, but brings out the best in you, I feel like you really found like someone really, really special. And when I first met him, he taught me how to have fun. And like before that, you heard my story in the beginning. I was very much like, oh, excuse me, like, I have another question, or like, I'm going to do this, and this, and like crazy, like captain of everything, like. And then when I met him, he taught me how to slow down, enjoy life, and basically live it and relax. So that's what I really enjoy about him. And I really do enjoy not only being business partners together, but also I really enjoy hanging out with him. Like, he's really fun to hang out with. He makes you feel relaxed. And for me, I'm always like, not like I'm not relaxed, but I'm very much like, go, like what can we do more of, how can we make this better, and all that kind of stuff. And so you need someone to balance you in that aspect. He's like my rock.
And I have to say, a lot of times people don't realize why people keep their private life private when someone's as big and well known as Cassey. And I must say, in a way, I completely understood and respected the fact that she didn't publicize her and Sam, because a lot of times when you put your private life out there, people do criticize and scrutinize you and that person. And I know a lot of that was probably out of respect for Sam too, not to have people maybe make comments that could be, offensive or rude or criticize your relationship or anything like that. So I completely understand why sometimes we keep those those things private. But I am glad that you opened up. Sam is such an amazing guy, so I'm glad we talked about him.
Yeah,
about him. I'm sure he's embarrassed. He's probably sitting across from you right now. Like
he's across from the table now. I'm people are looking at his face, and he just waved, and he has a smile on his face.
Okay. People are going to start Googling Sam and Cassey Ho to see if they can.
Can we find a mystery picture? You should hold off on posting a picture of them for a while. People will be like, what?
That's awesome. No, okay, so obviously, Cassey, this is called the Fit to Fat to Fit Experience podcast, and one of the things I try and implement in the show is bring in my Fit to Fat to Fit experience and some lessons that I learned from it. And so one of the questions I always ask people is about their own Fit to Fat to Fit experience. Can you, in your bio, it talks about you growing up, quote unquote, chubby, and I kind of was wondering if you could dive into that a little bit and maybe what you learned from that period of your life and how it helped shape you to who you are today. I mean, obviously, you're not overweight and you're very fit, but I kind of want to talk about your bio kind of talks about that past and how it shaped you.
Yeah, so I grew up chubby, like in my second grade, what do you call it, yearbook picture, I'm like tilting my head like this, and there's like a double chin. I was chubby growing up. And because I was always the, what do you call it, like the smart kid or whatever, and I always raised my hands and all that kind of stuff, people kind of bullied me for being fat, raising my hand too much, and also at this time, I think it was like 6th grade, and my mom wouldn't let me shave my legs. I'm not sure why. So I also had hair in my legs. My last name is Ho, so there's a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
It's just bad times. And back then I didn't even know what a hoe was. So I was like, do you mean the gardening tool? Like, I don't understand. It was just like really bad.
Oh my gosh. I love you so much right now.
Growing up chubby, and there was a very, I remember this very fine period, this one moment in my life that really changed everything, and it was terrible. I was at this family party, and I was just, eating, and I hadn't really thought about being chubby. Like, it didn't occur to me that I looked any different than anyone else. And this girl just like literally points her finger at my face. He's like, "Why are you so fat?" And I immediately dropped my fork. I stopped chewing, and I ran into this random bathroom, and I just started crying like uncontrollably forever. And my mom couldn't get me out of the bathroom, and it was just really, really terrible. And from that moment on, I realized, life isn't just about, going to school and drawing pictures and having fun. Like, I actually look a certain way, and it matters. And I became really self-conscious and body conscious ever since that point on. Luckily, puberty hit, and I got thinner naturally. And then I was on a test team, so I didn't really think about working out. But then after, when I got into college, you get freshman 15 and stuff, all this food, and you want to eat everything. And I've been on my own Fit to Fat to Fit journey, but during this college time is when I discovered teaching Pilates. Because I started doing Pilates when I was 16, and I started teaching until I was like 20 or something. And then when I started doing Pilates, I started changing my body. So I knew that you could really control the way you look by doing things like exercise and exercise that you love. And I started teaching it. So that brought me a lot of happiness. And then, I always fluctuate up and down. And I think it was 2012 when I decided that I wanted to do a bikini competition just to see how I could push myself. And it was interesting experience. I lost a ton of weight. I got down to like almost 110 pounds, and I'm like 5'5", so I was like really, really skinny. But I felt, I thought I looked amazing, and I was like, whoa, look at these muscles, all this kind of stuff. But Sam tells me I was a really terrible person at the time. I was really cranky. I didn't have any carbs. And I feel like I couldn't think that straight. Like just neurons were not firing the way they should have been firing.
Yeah.
And so, as far as people were following my body transformation, so that was great for the blog. But as far as actually being productive in other aspects of my life, I was just working out literally the whole time, because I hired this bodybuilding coach, a male who had been through tons of bodybuilding, contests. And so he trained me the way he trained himself, and I think that was not a good idea, because I worked out literally a few hours in the morning, and then he would make me go home and do extra cardio, literally every day. I had to drink 2 gallons of water, which is okay, fine. And then he would try to up it on other days. And then I couldn't have any carbs. Like, it was like all protein powder, egg whites, chicken breast, and lettuce leaves with a squeeze of lemon.
Oh my gosh.
A squeeze of lemon. And it was so tough, and I lost weight so fast. But afterwards, I gained it back, and then after it took a year to gain everything back. And Drew, that's when I met you.
Yes, yeah.
And I was devastated because I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, all I did was go back to eating normal clean, which is like, salads with like, not a drop of lemon juice, but like Sonic vinaigrette, and like I was just gaining weight, and I was just eating, like I could eat like a little bit of brown rice, and I just kept gaining weight, and then I could eat pizza, and I gained the same amount of weight. It didn't matter. Like, I was so destroyed, and that's why when I met you, when I lost those first 5 pounds, like it was to me, it was like it was like 100 pounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
So that's my fit to fat to fit to fat to fit journey, and now what I come to realize is that there are things you have to sacrifice to have a certain type of body, and I have to realize, is it worth it? And to me, what's worth it is running the business that I have and being able to do the things that I love, and sometimes eat the things that I want, and like the body that I have at the same time. And for a lot of people, that's different. Like, I'm not willing to work out 4 hours a day just to maintain a certain thing, because you know what? My business will stop running. No one's going to know what to do. Like, it's just like, I have found balance. And of course, with balance, you always try to keep growing and try to get better. So it's not stagnation. It's just finding happiness, but like growing happiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you want to know what? That's so much more realistic. Like, I don't really know anybody that can contribute that much time to working out and can sustainably eat those type of foods and not have, indulgences here and there or go to a social function. What you show is that you can be healthy and beautiful and fit and still eat good food. You try out all these amazing recipes that you post for your followers. I love when you post your YOLO meals, you only live once meals. You're realistic. Like, you show that you can be fit and beautiful and healthy and have a good body image in a way that any woman can. And that's way, something I think way more people are going to look up to, as opposed to, I do have friends that do bikini competitions and stuff, and I always admire the hard work that they put in, but that is not sustainable long term. So.
Yeah, for most people. And that's the thing, is the biggest lesson I learned from my Fit Fat to Fit experience, because I grew up always in shape, playing sports, very active, and that's why I did my own Fit Fat to Fit journey on purpose, was because I felt like I needed to gain a better understanding. I couldn't go back in time and become overweight as a little kid to experience what that was like, but I can only imagine the heartache that would be at that time, kind of like what you went through. But I felt like what I did gave me a better understanding of the mental and emotional journey that people go on. And people focus so much on the physical side of weight loss. Like you said, when you're doing the bikini competition, exercise and working out and the meal plans and things like that. I feel like most people have that knowledge, but people don't understand the mental and emotional toll it takes on you when you're trying to make a transformation. Like you said, from the outside, you might have looked great at 110 and 10% body fat, but you're miserable on the inside, and you're a different person. You're not happy. And so people need to find what that balance is on a mental and emotional level and a physical level. And it's not always the 8%, six-pack ab look. That's for some people, but for other people, they want to be able to go out on the weekends with their friends and have a YOLO meal every once in a while instead of beating themselves up if they have too much peanut butter.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah, thank you for sharing that experience.
So the way we always finish up, because we're wrapping up the end, of course, after like all this really good nuggets of information, we always end with pointless information, where we are going to throw out a few really quick questions. Basically your job is to answer these as concise and quickly as possible, and they are random, really don't mean anything questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite YOLO meal? And for people that don't know, that means what's your favorite treat meal or dessert meal?
Okay, last night I had this crazy thing. It's called, I don't know what it's called, but it's basically like fried like French toast sticks that are stacked like Jenga. And then there's a scoop of ice cream on top, and it just melts down with strawberries. days. It was like heaven.
Oh my gosh. I am like so hungry right now.
Okay,
just
we'll
hearing
put that link to that place, wherever that is, in the show notes.
We really won't, but that sounds delicious.
Amazing.
Okay, most embarrassing moment.
Oh, most embarrassing moment? Oh my God.
Sam can help you with this one.
What's the most embarrassing moment? Can we go back to this? I don't know this one.
Okay, next one. Okay. If you were stranded on a deserted island with only one flavor of Quest bar, what would it be?
It would definitely be apple cinnamon.
Really?
Apple
wow,
cinnamon?
that's a big surprise. That's like the least popular flavor.
Okay, well, if you think about it, I can't eat like 80% of them. So
that's true.
I'm left with berries, apple cinnamon, and a couple others.
Okay, biggest pet peeve.
Ooh, biggest pet peeve, people that have an ego and feel like they're on top of everybody else, even when they're not.
Oh, that's a good one, man. That's a pet peeve of mine, too. Okay, embarrassing moment.
Did it come to you?
Any embarrassing moment?
Do you not get embarrassed easily? Is that why?
What happens is that I have no memory. So if there's something that's really bad, I just delete it out of my brain and it just never happened. So I'm just trying to remember.
I thought Cassey was more like me. And like when people ask me that question, I literally run through all the embarrassing moments and then think, which one would I actually tell people?
Okay.
It's like,
this one's like not that embarrassing, but I say it because I don't like it. So one time... I can eat a lot. Oh, actually, this is an embarrassing moment. Okay, I remember. So my embarrassing moments happen when I overeat and I pass out and place.
Wait, can you repeat that? Can you repeat that?
I was at Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas with my sister. We went to I forget what you call it, the buffet all the way back. It's really, really good. And we want to get our money's worth. We ate like a ton. And like while we were walking out, I was like, Jacqueline, I just need to lay down for a second. And I literally fell asleep like for an hour on this random couch outside of the nightclub. And everyone, it was like 8 o'clock. We were like, whoa, she's passed out already? And she's like, no, it's not what you think. And I literally was just sleeping on a couch in Las Vegas from overeating.
Oh my gosh.
I can guarantee that since you were in Vegas on a couch passed out, nobody even blinked an eye. They're like, they're like, that girl started early. Mm-hmm.
Cassey, you would not have done very well if you had to do a fit to fat to fit journey for 6 months where you had to eat what I ate.
She's like sleeping 24/7.
You would be asleep the whole time. Yeah. That I know what you mean though. I know that feeling of overeating and all you want to do is just lay down and your body wants to rest because it's so exhausted.
But I have this weird infatuation with food and whenever I see like loads of food, like how sometimes they have those like huge tacos or those huge burritos or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like I seriously want to challenge someone, maybe you, Drew, to an eating contest when I'm not like slimming down for a photo shoot or a video shoot or something. Like I swear I could eat the whole thing.
Are you serious? Okay.
I kind of feel like me and Cassey should go head to head instead. That's more of a fair competition. And I have been known to eat epic meal proportions.
There was, that would be a super popular YouTube video to see two girls stuffing their face in an eating challenge. Because it's mostly guys that do that, like Furious Pete, but that would be so funny.
There's this place it's so funny because I've been literally telling everyone about this place for 7 years and I haven't even gone yet. It's this place called El Tepeyac in LA and basically it's a huge burrito. It's like the size of a baby and it's made out of like 2 huge tortilla wraps. They fill it with everything and if you eat it, you get to be on the Wall of Fame or whatever. Like I care about that. But I just have always wanted to attempt it.
Okay, next time I'm in LA, you and I
we'll schedule it.
We're going out, we're going there, we're doing an epic food challenge, we're recording it, and I'm not gonna lie, if I win, I am going to brag.
That's fine. Okay.
I can do it.
So Cassey, I actually have one last quick question. We did the series of fun quick questions, but it's kind of led to another one. Do you ever feel self-conscious eating out in public in fear of someone will recognize you? I'm just curious about that.
It's happened all the time. Yesterday, I was at an Indian restaurant, and a fan walked up to me while I was eating sag paneer, and it's like it's fine. I eat what I eat, and it doesn't matter to me. So I'm not really afraid. Okay. In fact, a lot of times when I am going out for my YOLO meal, like whether I'm getting ice cream or whatever, I tend to see a lot of fans at these places. I'm like, yeah, you and I were thinking the same thing, so it's okay.
No, I think that's cool, because I think at certain points in time, I used to be that guy where I used to be afraid, oh, someone might see me with this. Here, Lynn, take this really quick.
Oh, yeah. All the time. He would put anything that's unhealthy, he'd be like, that's Lynn's.
That's Lynn's. That's not mine.
Oh, that's so funny. That's Lynn.
That's Lynn.
No, but anyways, thank you so much, Cassey. Where can people go to find out more about you, like social media and website and things like that?
So go to youtube.com/blogilates on YouTube, and then my Instagram at blogilates. I also have a blog, blogilates.com. Literally just type in blogilates to find everything you need to find.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, and we're going to put everything in the show notes. We'll put her website and her social media handles so that you guys can follow her. She puts out so much great free content. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
In a great way.
And any big things coming up that you can talk about or announce?
Yeah, so our partnership with 24 Fitness and my format Pop Pilates is in full force. I'm really excited because 24 Hour Fitness wants Pop Pilates to be the official Pilates of their gym chain, which is awesomeness, because I never thought that when I put up my first video in 2009 that this would actually be a real thing that people can get certified in. So that is happening. We're trying to figure out how to get into retail stores with some of our products. So that's always a new challenge. There's always a new challenge every day, every week. But it's exciting because if it were the same every day, I'd be so bored I would die. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if people go to 24 Hour Fitness, they can actually go to that class as like, body pump, like those kinds of things.
Yes,
awesome.
exactly.
I love that.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Cassey. We really appreciate you being a part of this podcast, and we look forward to having you on again. And stay in touch, and we will schedule that epic cheat meal between you and Lynn.
Oh, yeah. It's going to happen.
You actually, or if you come to Hawaii, come visit me in Hawaii. We will have a malasada throwdown, girl.
What is that?
They're like donuts, and they can be stuffed with things like coconut or
guava,
mangoes, like delicious big donuts stuffed with, like, they can do Bavarian cream, chocolate, or even plain. But
it's a Portuguese style donut.
They're like
That's
heavenly.
what it is. It's called malasadas, and they're delicious. So
Okay, well, it's happening.
okay,
Yeah.
thanks so much, Cassey. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on today's episode with Cassey Ho. If you liked today's episode, please go give us a 5-star rating on iTunes and subscribe.
Yeah, you guys leave us any comments that you have there. We will read through each of your comments, try to get back to as many people as possible. You can leave comments on future subjects that you want us to talk about. We want this podcast to be for you, so definitely give us the feedback.
Yep, and you can check us out at fit2fat2fit.com, which is my website.
And 2fitathome.com, which is my website.
And feel free to subscribe to our newsletters and follow us on social media to stay in touch with us and to see everything that's going on. We will see you guys next time.